Hey guys, it's me, Kai. So I just filmed a video. I feel like crying right now. This is so weird, and I'll tell you why. I just filmed a video talking about my hair and skin. Then I got, I finished my video, I came in my room, and I want to kumbaya and all that crap before, I do whatever it is that I do for the rest of my evening. And I was just thinking about, and I like to think about my day's events. I'm so touched right now by something a homeless guy did. Oh my God, I'm so teary-eyed. I'm gonna cry. But his name, please don't tell me I forgot his name. Jeffrey. Jeffrey? Frederick? Jeffrey. Anyway, so my friend Ebony and I, we went out for an early lunch today, and Jeffrey, I can't remember his name. Frederick, I think it's Frederick. But my friend Ebony and I, we went out for lunch today, and he stopped us, and he actually, usually, there's a lot of homeless people in Oakland, so I give money when I can, but honestly, I rarely carry cash on me. And I told myself if people ask me to buy food for them, if we're near somewhere with food, I will do that. And only one person before today has asked me to buy them food. So he asked us if we could buy him some food. He said he's not there begging for money. He was just, he was asking for food, And so we took him and we got him some food. Hold on, I need to get this shit is so deep to me. But so we took him to get him some food. This is a real honest vlog, guys. I'm home and I look like this, you know what I mean? So this is honest, but we got him some food. And I'd given him the menu and he could not read. So, and the guy at the barbecue shop, he saw that too, and he's like, dude, because he asked for a tuna sandwich, and the guy's like, no, this is a barbecue spot, let me tell you what we have. So we get him some food, and he asked us how to get to a shelter in San Francisco. So I told him how to get there, and but of course, knowing he didn't have money, I actually have some BART tickets, in my pocket. I have tons of BART tickets, and I gave him two, one with $5 and one with $8, just in case one didn't work, the other one would, to get him to Frisco to go to the shelter. And he was so thankful. So, he thanked us, did his thing, we left. And he said thank you because the entire day people had been ignoring him and not really giving him any time of day, even when he was asking just for food. So, a couple days ago, because I just moved and it's been tough, when you just move and pay a lot of stuff, and I feel overwhelmed with money, and I was just down and out and just kind of self-pity about being broke and stuff. And so I am so blessed to be able to help someone, and I'm around good people. My friend, she didn't hesitate. She bought him lunch, and I gave her the BART tickets. She didn't hesitate. And then I was walking home from work, and I saw him again. I was like, I thought this guy was going to go to the shelter. But I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm walking, and I guess supposedly he sees me. I don't know how long he was following me because I saw him a couple of blocks away, and he followed me, finally tapped me on my shoulder. He's like, I wanted to tell you, I went to BART. The person told me that one of the BART tickets didn't work. He said it was demagnetized. I said, really? I said, well, it should be enough to get you there. He's like, well, he said the shelter that he's at, you have to pay for your bed. So he wants to be able to come back to Oakland tomorrow. And he wants to find somewhere to sleep in Oakland. But he wants to go to San Francisco because they feed you. And he wants to be able to eat dinner. And, and then he kind of looked at me he looked like he wanted to ask something. And, I was like, okay. And then he's like, can I ask you a favor? And I'm like, okay. He's like, can you buy me one more meal? Can you help me out? I'm like, all right, sure. The first place we went to, they were closing. And the second place is a really nice restaurant that I like. And I was like, well, I'm going to take him somewhere I like and get him some good food. So I already remembered that he couldn't read the menu. And so I was reading to him like what he was interested in and what he wanted. And he decided he wanted a tuna fish sandwich. He's like, oh, I want a tuna fish sandwich. He's like, do they have soda? I'm like, all right, what soda do you want? So $16 tab, but I hope it was like a really good tuna sandwich because that place is really good. But it's like a gourmet kind of, And he just kind of sat there and, he looked down and he just looked so sad, And when I paid for his meal, he looked over at the tab and he just, he broke down. He gave me a hug. That's the part that touches me. This is hard. He gave me a hug and he felt so sincere. He gave me a hug. I'm dressed like corporate America. Everyone thinks I'm so intimidating at work and the way I carry myself, but this guy didn't have a problem reaching out to me. I was stiff. I was caught off guard. He gave me a hug and, he smelled, he was dirty, but that didn't matter. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, the reason why I'm posting this video, wow, I'm crying way too much. Hold on, let me collect myself real quick. Okay, I'm gonna try to say this without crying. The reason why I'm making this video is because sometimes our hearts can be so sheltered and just covered in stone, and there are people out there who really could use some love. I don't think anyone wants to be homeless or be out on the street, and it takes a certain level of humility to beg and ask for money or to beg and ask for food. Don't get me wrong, there are scammers out there who make $45,000 tax-free, begging for money every day. But there are people out there who deserve the benefit of the doubt, who are not out there because they want to be. I mean, the dude was looking for a legitimate shelter in San Francisco. He gave me a hug. It was so sincere. Like, even somebody who's like a hard ass like me sometimes, it touched me, So I'm putting this video out there, and I just decided to talk about this when I was thinking about it. It's just because, we need to pass the love. We need to spread the love. We need to help when we can. Even small things like that. I mean, that meant a lot to me. And his hug was all the thank you that I needed, and it just validated everything. Like, he was so sincere. And it seemed sad when I left, like he didn't want me to go. But all I could do is, I said a little prayer for him. Guys, pray for him, just hope that I know he'll find a shelter. He knows how to get there. And the whole ticket situation got taken care of, so he'll be able to get there. But it's just sad when you see people like that, And he reached out to me a second time because he already knew that, at least I would acknowledge his presence. He said people don't acknowledge him and it hurts. Things like that can really hurt people. It can really turn people angry. It can really fuck people up. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that it didn't turn him away. And hopefully in an instance where if he feels neglected or feel like there are people who don't care, he'll remember Ebony and I. And just remember that there are people out there to help. So anyway, I'm telling you guys this story just so you can pass on the love, benefit of doubt or not, because there are going to be people out there who need it, but just pray for him, keep him in your mind. I hope he gets off the street. I talked to him. I said, if you can get off the street, get off the street. What happened to your family? And it was family drama that got him away from his family. I'm like, but reach out if you can. Whatever you can do, try. It's just like, and then I just realized how difficult it is when you're on the street to get off the street. There are programs out there to help you, but first thing that goes, all these things are nonprofit. They got to get the money somewhere because obviously it's not being funded. Our tax dollars go to jails and, feed criminals. But, there's some good people out in the street who want to change things. And I felt such a huge sense of hopelessness in him. And I guess that's what hurt me, to feel his hopelessness. And I didn't even know how to tell him how to get off the street. You feel me? Like, This world has got to change. I mean, I know I talk about makeup and hair and all that stuff, but that shit is so trivial and insignificant and just doesn't mean anything, you know, in comparison to all the things that are going on, you know, in this world. And just crossing paths with him did something to me today that I needed. You know, I pray to God all the time, but when I am most sincere, and you guys already know how I am about the whole religious thing. Like, I'm not big on religion. I don't go to church. I don't really anymore try to claim a religion, but the only thing that is absolute and certain to me is God. I believe in God wholeheartedly. No one can ever change my mind on that. Don't do the whole church thing. Not into that. Don't like the whole judgmental thing. Not into that. I feel like religion does a lot of that. But, and I'm heavily judged by religion just on my opinions and some of the things that I do, but at the end of the day, I believe that we all come from good. We all come from God. All of us have a good core. And when I am so sincere with God in terms of how I felt, and I was struggling, you know, like financially, and you know, like I'm very good at managing my money, but it is hard being an adult and being responsible. And I haven't been shopping, all that crazy stuff I used to do. I had to calm it down because it's time to grow up. And then he sends me this, you know, this kind of experience. Just at the end of the day, I'm so blessed to be able to bless somebody else. Is a manifestation of all the blessings in my life, because I was able to get him lunch or dinner and give him bar tickets. And it's not going to hurt my pocketbook. You know, I want money so I can go shopping for clothes. You know what I mean? Or so I can save up for a vacation and leave the country again. But today's experience was worth it so much more than me wanting to go to Rome next year or me wanting to go to Switzerland this summer. Like, it just, I don't know what it did, but it's like, thank you, God. Like, seriously. But anyway, guys, the whole reason of this whole vlog is just pass on the love. Pass on the love. And it's easy to forget how blessed we are. It's easy to get caught up in things that aren't important, but like, try to stay grounded and always open your heart up. If you open your heart up, I mean, shoot, God is always there. You know what I mean? I hate to get all religious. I don't like to do all that spiritual stuff on here, but this just touched me today and I wanted to put that out there. So forgive my appearance and snotty nose and all that crap. It is what it is. So anyway, I'll post a more lighthearted video a couple of weeks, or like maybe later on today. You guys see how crazy I am when I'm talking about my hair and my skin and all that jazz. Or I might not do it. I don't know at this point. But you guys be well. Be blessed. Take care. Bye. And thanks for listening. And just go and give somebody a hug. Go and give somebody $5. Buy somebody a meal, or somebody in your family who you know is going through somebody or something, or somebody you haven't talked to in a while who you could use a little bit of love. Spread that shit. Spread that shit. Spread some love, guys. Whatever. I'm in a lovey-dovey mood, and I'm not even near that time of the month, okay? Just do it. All right. Bye.